SuperTalk TV. I got some fun friends in the studio with me today, which always brings me joy. Joining me is Miss Jennifer Hopping. She's the Executive Director of the American Heart Association here in Mississippi. And I've got Miss Ané Scott. She's a senior English major at Tougaloo College, and she was a recent recipient of one of the Heart Association's newest grants. So welcome both.
Thank you for having us.
And congratulations, Ané.
Thank you so much.
And you're on Christmas break, so you can take a big sigh of relief that all of your exams are finally over with. Okay, Jennifer, so this is just another layer to what the good things the American Heart Association does. And when I think of them, I don't always think of grants.
Yes.
Or scholarships, let's put it that way, not grants. You do grants, but that's for other community things. Scholarships in terms of education. So talk with us a little bit about this program.
Absolutely. So in 2015, this program was created by a physician in the Southeast region, really looking at the fact that we need more diverse candidates coming out in science-related fields from college. And so, as the American Heart Association always does, we decided we needed to do something about that. And so we created our HBCU, which, if you don't know, stands for Historically Black College and Universities Scholarship Program. And so this is an opportunity for students to be a part of an amazing mentorship. And I'll let Ané tell y'all about her mentor here locally. But we have 4 scholars in Jackson, 2 annually, two from Tougaloo and 2 from Jackson State. And so Ané is one of our Tougaloo scholars this year.
Again, congratulations. But also, if I put my dietitian hat on, I'm just super excited to see other women want to go into the healthcare field. I think that's really cool. So what drew you, because first you had to be interested in healthcare before you could even apply for the scholarship. So what drew you to that, Ané?
So for the past couple of years at Tougaloo College, I've been a Jackson Heart Study Scholar. And part of the Jackson Heart Study Scholar program, they train us on about public health needs in Mississippi and, how to help Mississippians. And so when I found out about the American Heart Association HBCU Scholars Program, I felt that I was in line with things that I've already done in the past. So I decided, let me apply to this and see if I can learn how to be even more of a help to my community.
So you had to do some form of project and then have sort of a mentorship. So how does this particular scholarship work? Because it's not your traditional, here's a check for you to further your education, which is nice because you still have to keep up the education part.
Sure.
But this kind of had a little bit extra connected to it.
So it's for 1 year, and so the students have to apply. It looks at their GPA, and they have to submit a formal application, which has an essay, and then they have to have a recommendation from their school. And then what I love about this program is, as I said, it partners the students with a local mentor. And so Ané lucked out with one of our amazing mentors, Dr. Clifton Addison, and he has mentored this program every year since its creation for us locally. And so they get to walk along beside someone that's in a field that they're interested in and learn from that mentor, but they also get to work on a project throughout that year. And so Ané's been working at a project with him that I'll let her tell you a little bit more about.
What you been doing, girl?
So for this project, I'm interested in looking at pregnancy and cardiovascular health, looking at hypertension a little bit. And so with Dr. Addison, he's been a wonderful help because he's done projects like this in previous years. And so I'm able to look at how he's done projects and to figure out how I want to formulate my own.
So in the grand scheme of things, are we looking at just the relationship to them, how to prevent, or just overall data collection?
Looking at the relationship, looking at previous studies and looking at Mississippi data and seeing correlations right now. Hopefully, as I progress, I can be able to do something bigger with actually collecting data. But for right now, I'm just looking at correlations.
Hey, that's the first step. You got lots of years to do lots of research, to do lots of things in that way. But first, just being interested in it or getting interested in it, I think is the first step and definitely sort of a good thing. You also got to take a trip in part of this. So where did you just get back from?
So I just got back from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Was it snowing?
I asked her that too. Said it was cold.
It was very cold, very windy. But it was a really, really fun experience. We went to scientific sessions and we were able to meet lots of different people, lots of networking opportunities with people within the American Heart Association in different levels, from communications to incoming presidents of the American Heart Association. So that was really exciting to be able to ask questions about how did they get to their point in their career and just having a deeper understanding of what it means to be of service to your community.
Which I think is the one big piece to this is finding those students that are obviously wanting to give back in a health way to their community, because the American Heart Association, that's basically what you guys do on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Is look for ways to improve the health of the community.
Well, and one of the things that Ané has talked about before is that, in Mississippi, you think about, we have communities where we want physicians, we want public health experts to look like their community. And so that was one of the reasons for the HBCU Scholars Program, is because we know in certain areas in the Southeast, people respond better to those talking to them and providing them information and education that look like them and can talk to them about their culture and their background. And so Ané has done some work in that area as well. And I love that, because our scholars, so many of them have left and done research or gone on to grad school or med school and have come back to Mississippi, which we know we desperately need that in all areas of health for Mississippi, because, as you know, we've talked about many times, our statistics are not the best. And so I love the idea of this program providing additional education opportunities for students to then come back, because they're all equally as bright as Ané. They're wonderful, gifted students I've had the privilege to meet over the years. And so it really is exciting for the future of our state.
So now, speaking of the future, what year are you at Tougaloo?
I am a senior at Tougaloo, so...
Oh, yeah, just said that, senior. Sorry, I read that. That's
Yes,
my fault. So what's next for you?
Next would be grad school, getting a master's in public health. I am applying currently. It's an exciting and nerve-wracking opportunity to just think about all the different things I can be doing for my future, and then having to think of interviews and things like that.
Essays.
Essays and sort of all the fun things. Gosh, you're just taking me back to when, during that specific time in college. It goes by really, I know it doesn't feel like it, but one day you'll wake up, you'll be 40, married with 2 kids, and way past that. And it will have all been worth it. I promise you that. What's the end goal when you finally have your master's in public health and you're out there working in the community? Where do you see Ané sort of, where does Ané would like to be? Because you never know where you'll end up. Doors will open and you have no idea. But if you could paint that picture right now.
I think it's really important for nonprofit work, so that you can really be of service to your community, being within your community, doing the workshops for community, whether that's in a church or in other forms of allowing community people to come in and just be open and comfortable with talking to healthcare professionals. I think that's some of the more important parts that Mississippi's missing. Sometimes we get so concerned with, you have to see your doctor, but somebody may not even feel comfortable just asking questions. And if you do it in a church or you do it in a community space where they can feel more comfortable, I think you can then open the door for someone willing to actually have conversations with their doctor.
I totally agree with that. Just sort of meeting them where they're at, bringing the healthcare back into the communities in different ways. It doesn't have to be the sterile hospital sort of setting, clinic setting. There is absolutely a time and place for that, but we also first have to get them comfortable and sort of get everybody sort of into the idea of going in to see their physician or healthcare provider for sure. Okay, Jennifer, I know there's people listening going, this is great. If someone meets the bill and they would like to know more about these scholarships, because obviously we do these every year?
Every year. So thankfully we have funding. It doesn't come from Mississippi, unfortunately. So we have a national foundation that supports the scholars here in Mississippi, and we have scholars, as I mentioned, all over the Southeast. So we are always welcome to more funding, because we would love to add more students in the Jackson area. As we know, we have other HBCUs in the state of Mississippi that I'm sure have amazing students as well that they could add to this program. But for a student interested in being a part of it or learning more about it, they can go to our website, heart.org. Just type in HBCU Scholars. There's a whole few pages on that. They can learn more. The application process, Ané, when did you apply? I don't even know.
I applied in May.
Okay.
Yep.
And you were accepted that summer, and then it started in the new school year.
Accepted June, July, and then we started in August.
So when do you graduate?
I graduate in May of 2024. So.
May of 2024. Well, girl, already congratulations. I'm sure you will get into whatever higher education that you are sort of seeking. We hope, though, that like the other scholars, wherever your wings may take you, may they direct you back to Mississippi.
Yes, of course.
To plant your roots and be of public service. We would love to have you back anytime. Congratulations, girl.
Thank you so much.
All right. Same to you, Jennifer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. You guys stick with us, though. We got more for you coming up next.